up, boppers? I'd like to talk about the Bravo family for a bit. So, after my husband and I got married, we lived at his mother's house for 6 months. It was a nightmare. It was constant, covert abuse from all members of the family. Against myself, against my daughter, on a constant basis. Always with they'd start out, they'd really hi, how you doing? And then throw some backhanded compliment in there, or some snide remark, or I'd get dirty looks. My 13-year-old daughter was getting dirty looks, and we were quiet as mice. We were polite and respectful. I had one issue with Hannah there where she was being a brat, but other than that, she was good, man. And they were very abusive. At one point, they invited Hannah to go to a family party at my husband's brother's then house, which he lost, and now he lives with his mommy in his 50s. But anyway, so they took Hannah there. They invited Hannah and took her there only to ignore her the entire time. I had to pick her up. She called me up, bawling her eyes out. When we got engaged, his mother said that she was throwing us an engagement party where there was no one there. But Leanne was there, and Leanne was grilling me like I was trying to dig for gold by marrying her brother, who, at the time when I married him, lived in his mother's basement, had no credit, had no money in the bank, and had two $500 hoopty fucking vehicles. Okay? What the fuck? There's no gold. I don't see any gold. Do you guys? I don't. No gold to be found. None. They never bought myself or my children gifts for any of the holidays, yet they took our gifts, though. We gave them gifts every holiday, every birthday. Never received a gift in return, not once, not even once, not from one of them. When I was in the hospital, not one of them came to visit me. Not one of them came to see me after their son, their brother, their father almost ended my life. Not one. My mother-in-law's response to my beating was that I needed to get help because I was sick. They hide behind Catholicism, and they don't know God, in my humble opinion. Now, no one knows anyone's heart, but, I lived with these people, and I know what they're like. So they put on this front to everybody else. Arlene acts like the Aunt Bee of the fucking neighborhood, always cooking, baking cookies and cakes and trying to appear like this wholesome grandmother, mom type. This wholesome matriarch, when she's far from it. Far from it. My stepson, at one point when I lived at Arlene's house, I had a little dog, and he ran up to Johnny, my stepson, because that's what he does when he sees people. He runs up to them and he barks. He's excited. And this kid threatened to kick him across the room. He said, "I'll kick that fucking dog across the room." These are the kind of people, I could go on and on for hours, really. None of them have good credit. Arlene still has not paid off a home she's had since the 1960s. They're all capable of paying their bills, but they choose not to. They choose to immediately gratify themselves with a bunch of crap. They shop and buy all this shit. And the house is all cluttered, filled with all these knickknacks and all this bullshit that they buy because they can't save a goddamn dime. Not one of them has one fucking penny in the bank. Not one of them. And there's just no excuse. There's no excuse. How are you an adult person and you do not have any savings? I think the only one that has savings maybe is Nigel. And he's another case. A fucking head case. After his father beat me almost to death and I spent 8 days on life support, he decided to go on his friend's podcast and make a little song about it. Make a little parody song about it. You know, that was really fucking funny, and they all sat there and laughed about it. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. There's much more. I'll be getting into that later, but we'll just leave it right here for now.